Well, here we are. This is Coach Rod. I'm recording this on Tuesday night. I guess it's the 1st of February. Is that Groundhog Day, maybe? I don't know. The days blur together. I saw you yesterday in class. And then when I did see you in Crichton 1011, I said, have you guys heard the forecast for Wednesday? Seems nasty. And then in this day and age, I don't have to cancel classes. I have never canceled a class in the last decade. I just move my classes from the physical room, like Crichton 1011, to Rod's classroom in cyberspace. So if you're viewing this now, we're in cyberspace. I can do a lot of things from my classroom in the sky. In fact, it's amazing. I have basically unlimited computer power. I have an incredible professional microphone. The only thing that sometimes falters is my voice. I get a little cracky. But let's do this. So, this is the review of week 4. I know I did say on Wednesday we won't meet in Crichton 1011. We'll meet in my classroom in the sky. Think of it that way. So I want to talk a little bit about the forecast and then show you how it doesn't mean anything to me. Okay, so here it is. Here's an image I just clipped off the internet, and it says the snowfall predicted to start from early Wednesday. That's just in a few hours from now. I'm Tuesday night, remember? And look at this. 12 to 18 inches. Lafayette's down here. So we're still in the 12 to 18 inch zone, but they've actually isolated a little zone where someplace in here you might get more than 18, which is fine. Great. And it's very interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how good they were. I've got to put out a yardstick. I should probably out in the yard someplace where I can measure snow. I got to do that before I go to bed. So that's the snowfall forecast. And then here are the temperatures. Now, remember, this is Tuesday night, so I don't, right now it's my computer telling me it's raining, and I think it's like 45 degrees outside. Anyway, yeah. Okay, so look at Wednesday, 28 in the morning, 100% chance of precipitation, which is snow, ends up being, I think it's raining right now. It's going to change into snow. But Thursday, 18 to 5. Friday, look at this. 9 is the high. 15 below is the low. And then with all that snow and that low, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. So here's the deal. We're going to have a contest. Take pictures of crazy things that are outside in the snow and the cold, and I will award the best picture from this snow event a $20 gift certificate for Panera Bread. Okay, so I'm going to repeat that. Take pictures and send me your best crazy picture. And if it involves animals, that's going to be so much better. Anyway, and you'll get I'll look at all the pictures and say, so-and-so sent the best picture in, and I award them a $20 gift card to Panera Bread. They have good coffee. They have good soup, sandwiches. Okay, let's do it $25. Okay, somebody just twisted my arm. $25 gift certificate to Panera Bread for the best picture of something sent to me about this snow event, this cold event. Okay, so now, of course, this doesn't mean anything to me in a sense because I want to show you some pictures from my past. Here we go. What if this happened to you? Yes, I've been there. I had a car do that one time. Ask me what happened to the engine. It's amazing. I'll just put it this way. It's amazing where the snow blows. Very interesting. Yep, I parked it in a parking lot like this. Now I'm going to have to do a little confession. Never tell your kids this, though, okay? When you have kids. There was a bunch of us in high school, bunch of guys, that would always watch the weather, and when there was this incredible storm coming, we would try to find out whose parents were out of town. Maybe on vacation, business trip. So I had a buddy whose also name was Rod, and this happened one time. Rod Tweeton was his name. He's a very good academic person in Oklahoma right now. But anyway, Rod's parents were going to be out of town. What do? And we know the storm's coming. We all gathered at Rod's house. His parents were out of town now. And then the storm got bad. Of course it was going to be. And then we would each call our parents. No cell phones at this moment, so we used the landline. And we'd go, Mom, the storm's getting bad. I'm at Rod's house, Rod Tweeton's house. We're all safe here. Of course, the one thing we never said was his parents weren't in town. We did this a couple times anyway. One time, so here it is. The storm comes in. Traffic is banned from the roads. And we're all stuck at Rod's house without his parents around. Okay, so that's quite the story there. Again, don't tell your kids when you have them. Now, the snow gets so thick that you can't push it. When the snow is higher than a truck, you can't push it anyplace. You have to blow it. Everybody's seen somebody with a snow blower on their sidewalk, right? You know, it has those little gears inside, and auger, I guess, is the best name. Well, here it is. You put a snow blower on the front of a truck, and it's got those gears and augers, and it's blowing the snow this way. Takes a lot of power. So where's the motor for the snowblower? Right here. The whole back of the truck is a motor that's through a shaft powering the snowblower. And these little things up here are like showing the driver, where am I going? So that's quite a thing you'll never see around here. But you have to blow the snow when it gets higher than 10 feet. You can't push it. There's no, you can't push it anyplace. You have to blow it. Anyway, there it is. Then, of course, your car gets buried. This is the front end of a car. There's the antenna of the car. There's the front end. I'm going to think it's a Chevy. There's like, it tells you what engine is in there. And this guy is, you know, this might be from where I was in Fargo or someplace close. It's all, you know. Anyway, sometimes when the snow plows come over, they just have to go and they bury your car like that. So I've had a car buried like that a few times. So really interesting stuff. We'll see what the 18 inches, 12 to 18 inches come to the Lafayette area and 15 below. But remember the picture contest. I love to see that. The best pictures of this coming event. Okay, now we need to get to some of our course material. We're still doing a lot of toxicants and toxins. And sometimes I stray a little bit because I don't know how to put a certain agent into the categories. But let me blow this up a little bit, get my laser pointer going. And these 3 clicks, especially the first 2, are focused on pentobarbital. Not to be confused with the next subject, phenobarbital. They're both barbiturates, but pentobarbital is interesting because it's a short-acting anesthetic, the way I use it. So let's say I need to intubate a sheep for surgery. Intubate means you're going to put an endotracheal tube into the trachea, inflate the cuff that's around the end, and you get a secure airway. Well, the pentobarbital is rather notorious because it was often the drug also used for lethal injections in prisons, I guess is the best way to say that. I mean, the way to say that. Pentobarbital. I used to have a lot of pentobarbital. I can't remember what category. Is it a class 1 controlled substance? I'd have to look that up. Anyway, I had a DEA license. I was inspected by the DEA, had to have a special safe to put this compound, and then of course you always had to have a inventory control. So if I was doing it on a sheep or a boar, which I also use it on boars, I'd have to say how many milligrams I used, what boar number. So then if I got inspected, I could show how my inventory had decreased by a certain number of grams, and I had the animal numbers and how much it was. And of course, it's all based on body weight. So if I had to bring down a 400-pound boar, that took more pentobarbital than a 100-pound boar. But anyway, read that stuff on pentobarbital. And this little video has something about pentobarbital. Then we have 2 clicks on phenobarbital. Make sure you understand the difference. Pentobarbital versus phenobarbital. Then I stuck in stray voltage here, and that video is also on stray voltage, at least most of the video. Be aware the videos might have a couple other topics. You can skip through them or listen and learn. Anyway, stray voltage has been around for 20, 30 years. You'll see what it is. I think it first came to light, at least in the agriculture vein, where dairy cows were not being as productive as they should have. It's quite the story going on here. Antifreeze poisoning, which is ethylene glycol poisoning, is very terrible because it tends to be a sweet-tasting substance, and dogs like sweets. Cats don't like sweets as much, so more of the poisonings happen in dogs. And then, of course, unfortunately, if you watch the crime shows on TV, the spouse tried to get rid of the other spouse by putting antifreeze in the Kool-Aid or the Gatorade. I mean, I can't tell you how many times that has happened. And then we got chocolate poisoning in dogs. Chocolate is sweet, and of course you should read that because the take-home message is the darker the chocolate, the more potent a poison it is for dogs. Then organophosphates are very interesting. They're often used as insecticides in ag operations, but if animals eat these things, it affects the nervous system. And there are accidents that happen, and then there are intentional poisonings that have happened. If you're mad at your neighbor and you know they have a feedlot full of 1,000 steers, maybe at night you'll go over and sprinkle a little of this stuff over because you're mad at your neighbor. So be aware of that and be aware of the antidote. And in every case, you should say, is there an antidote? The antidote. And then, of course, at the bottom here, once I make this video, it'll show up here, and the link will be active. I'm doing the video right now, so that can't be active. But the bottom line is, when I see you on Monday, February 7th, we're going to have a quiz, and it's going to be a quiz without neighbors' help, without open book, so be aware of that. We have to start doing this. And so read everything you can about sweet clover poisoning, aflatoxins, and then if you were in class Monday, we did a lot of things with terms that end in toxin. And if you miss class on Monday, try to get a hold of somebody, because it's like, what did you guys do Monday? And basically what we did is everybody had to write down 15 terms that all ended in toxin. So, for example, aflatoxin is one of them. That's what's above there, but there might be a nephrotoxin, neurotoxin, and I think the people that were searching on their computers the right way found out that, wow, incredible number of terms that end in toxin. And I did try to promote the idea that if you have a term and then you define it like we were doing Monday, try not to use the word toxin in your definition. Try to use the word poison. So a toxin is a poison. So if you want to define neurotoxins, the definition would be a poison that affects the function of the nervous system. So, okay, I'm going to wrap this up, bake it into a MP4 file, upload it into YouTube, and then the wrap-up of week 4 will be active once I get everything uploaded. Take care, be safe. Remember our picture contest. A great picture of something about the snow/cold, and the best one sent in will get a $25 gift certificate to Panera Bread, because they do have some pretty good, I love their coffee, but they do have sandwiches and cookies and soups that are very good. So be aware of that. Think of it. What pictures can I take now? Because, see, there's external motivation for you to take some pictures that you may not have. And again, I said, if it involves some animals, well, that's kind of a plus. Take care, guys. Be good. Be safe. I've been through storms like this many, many, many times. But I do want you to be safe. Like I said in class, I think on Monday, I said, I think of you all as my kids. Which is crazy. That's a lot of kids, but okay, I'll do it. Take care. Yeah, and I almost sounded like that ended it just a moment ago, but I forgot. I wanted to tell you some things about Brightspace. So yeah, take care, all that stuff. But here, points on Brightspace. That's what I want to talk about now. So here's how we're going to label this semester. We're going to have 10 quizzes. And I'll explain that later. But in Brightspace, it's going to be quiz 1, 2, 3. You see it all the way to 10. And they're all going to be worth 100 points. Because the thing is, I'm doing something maybe a little unorthodox, but you know those events we've had for the last couple of weeks and what you did in class? Those could be thought of quiz 1 part A, quiz 1 part B, quiz 1 part C, and they all add up to 100 points. So not long after I make this video, I'm going to go in and assign 100 points to everybody under quiz 1, because we've been doing this kind of on the fly as a group. It's been fun to listen to you guys talk to each other and make suggestions for each other, and that's making the learner active. And that's one of my philosophies for the rest of my life. Make the learner active. Don't hand them pre-printed PowerPoint slides that somebody else made. I can't tell you how ridiculous I think that is. Make your own damn PowerPoint slides. Make it customized to your knowledge structures. Anyway, we're doing that. And then I'm going to bring down, just to remind you then, if we have 10 quizzes and they're all worth 100 points, then there's 1,000 points for this semester. And that jives with the syllabus. So, in review, I'm going to, for quiz 1, everybody gets 100 points because they've been there helping each other. A few of you have been out with COVID, whatever. Well, that wasn't your fault. But you know that you should always be in class or always do the virtual classes. And I'm really proud to say that I never have to cancel another class the rest of my life. You either come to the classroom where we meet physically or come to my virtual classroom. So now I'm going to say that was it. Be safe in the store. Remember our little contest. Looking forward to the pictures. Send them in. And we'll see you Monday for the quiz where there is no help. We'll spread out. Computers closed. There'll be a sheet of paper. There'll be instructions. It has to come out of your mind. It's got a brain. You've got to retrieve it from inside your brain. Okay, take care.